They had to get a stand-in first. They got Glaive to stand in for that tournament, and then Dupree had like appendicitis during the tournament, so Sonic had to play, and that was the major, and they had to play the decider game against MSL's Dignitas, a best of 3 to make it into the playoffs, and then they beat them with Sonic and Glaive. So yeah, a couple of miracle runs for Kerrigan. I think the one that will sting the most is the loss to Big in 2018 in the semifinal, right? Because that was Astralis' year. Astralis wasn't there, or they lost to Na'Vi in the other semifinal, right? It was FaZe Big, where Big was like somehow managed to get there. And if FaZe beat them, you know, they had a good track record against Na'Vi. That would have been the Grand Slam. They would have been the first.
That was the Big with Smuya, right? When they were playing the finals and they lost to Na'Vi at the end. I mean, yes, that would be a great final. If they made it, it would be like one of the legendary games. But we did have legendary games here anyway, so.
Yeah. When we talk about legends, I mean, this is where legends are made, right, gentlemen? And I've got 2 more legends that we need to be checking in with. So let's head on over to the commentary booth where Scrawny and Launders are waiting. Gentlemen, how are you feeling about groups today?
Well, first of all, thank you, Freya. Yeah, legendary in our own right. And groups, I'm ready to get this one started. I think it's very interesting, Mo, that we got the 2 youngest teams coming out of play-in here now now progressing to groups. Mouse and, of course, Mongols.
And the Mongols, yeah. So many rookies here playing at Cologne. I think it's something like 30 in total. And we talk about the Mongols, like their entire team is one of them. And players like Muzinho, players like 910 have come in and have just been integrated so well into this roster that they're starting off fast in European CS. Yep. The rotations look good. Their aim is great. I mean, they're on par with some of the teams. Well, they've passed some of the teams they beat.
I'm thinking myself as well. Jimpat, obviously, it's going to be, I think, tough for him because all of a sudden you get a Mouse that's obviously looking at IEM Dallas, the fact that they were able to get into the finals there. You turn around and you're thrust into Cologne. You're making this uptick from the Mouse NXT roster. There's a ton of hype behind you. And what I saw originally was like a bit of pressure. I think pressure on Jimpat, not necessarily crumbling under that pressure, but also I think the stakes are now higher, right? He's got to get ready and he's got to adapt quickly because he's got teammates that have been sat around waiting for wins. He's got a teammate who just led a roster to a major grand final. And so he better get up and running quick.
I also want to give a shout out to Headtrick because he is, I mean, he's turning into just like a straight up tier 1 opper. So that's somebody that I really want to watch. And they called him Clutch Trick yesterday because of his game. It got a little messy, but he made it happen in the end.
Right now I'm looking at like this Headtrick config relationship. And to me, it's almost it's a bit comparable, not in level, but to Nico and Monacy. Like it's just this confident person who wants to achieve a bunch with a new We Play Academy League turned main team opper. It's got promise.
Yeah, let's find out what Kassad has to say about that.
Tell me.
Yeah, straight after you, Kassad. What do you have to say?
It was a bit of a reach to compare Nico and Monacy with.
He had to hedge. He was like, oh yeah, there's Serbians.
I mean, but I can see where he's coming from. The duo against the duo, but it's like one is driving like a Ferrari. And the other one is like Fiat Punto or something.
Don't call Nico that.
What do you mean? Nico is the Ferrari.
That's the joke.
Yeah, speaking of newcomers, Mongols, obviously one of the teams there, beating Furia to make it.
And they beat them also in the same stage of the tournament in Katowice, right? So it seems like it works for them. And listen, with Furia, it was also one of the more like roster that we wanted to see what's going to happen. Fallen finally in Furia, and obviously they're going to need more time to get adjusted to the change in playstyle. But I have to say, from some of the interviews, I hate what I'm hearing. Like I absolutely hate the whole, oh yeah, Fallen is doing a little bit of his thing, then Art is helping like with the, you know, we're taking the best of both worlds. No, stop. You need to stop. You need to get away from that. Like, doesn't matter that Fallen, you know, some of the maps were weaker for Imperial, so Art is doing more. Just, it has to be a clean break. You let him come in, set everything up, do it his way. You help him with that where you can, but this like back and forth, like I hate it because I know Fallen, he's a super nice guy. Like it's almost impossible to have him say, hey, listen, let's just do it my way.
Yeah, we're doing it my way.
You know, he'll say, oh, okay, we can try it, let's try it. Like he'll always like do a let's try it, and then it's like you're not getting the change that you needed.
But it's not only him, just get the coaches, like work together. Doesn't have to be the bad guy. Coach can be the bad guy, right?
Oh yeah,
and
because like, that worked great for them.
Well, I mean,
they're like best friends, Art and Gary. It's like
the thing is, like, I mean, bad
like
guy.
You and Jason,
bad guy. Come on, that's again a reach.
What?
But the thing is, like, bad guy in a sense, like, we cannot do this anymore. We need to do like the other way, right? He did an interview with us after the game, and he was quite open about what happened, and he was like talking about specific situations on Inferno. They ran out of time, and he said like, yeah, I called them in the middle of the round to put pressure on Banana, but they didn't really do it, and it's like some things like that we need to get used to and need to just start doing it to understand the map better, and he wouldn't run out of time and grenades and whatever, right? So he was quite open about that, but yeah, I do agree, he's super nice. He just needs to stop being not that nice. That's it.
They're going to look better down the road, but I think at the end of the year, we're going to look back on that Furia change and be like, I really think that Furia messed up not going for Biggie, Zera, and Skulls. I think that would have been a smarter way to go long term for that team. So I still have some faith that Fallen can get this team pointed in the right direction. I think they're going to improve. I don't think it would be as good as if they went Biggie, Zera, and Skulls.
Yeah. I mean, any other disappointments for your money, gentlemen? We've talked about the highs,
Liquid?
planes, but
I mean,
yeah.
Haven't even talked about Liquid.
Complexity.
Yeah.
Do it, Jason. Twist that knife.
They're not an NA team anymore, so I don't feel obligated.
No
Talk about
allegiance.
complexity.
Perfect, great. Yeah, both of them. That's both disappointing. And I mean, complexity. I think the real disappointment there is like something with this Elite edition is just like not clicking whatsoever because Grim has just fallen off the face of the earth. It's not like a dip in performance; it's like a disappearance, which has got to be frustrating for him because it felt like he was starting to get a little bit of a groove. I think Halzerk had a few like low-key harsh words to say about the loss, saying people were getting quiet, the atmosphere in the team in those crunch moments was dipping. So, I mean, it just seems like there's something that's not really working in the early stages of this edition. So you have to be worried about this future. You have to be worried about where this team can go from here.
It's the leadership. It has to be.
Okay.
It has to be changed, right?
Mid-management, lower management.
In-game management.
Okay.
That's the thing. JT, I'm just going to say, I don't care. He needs to be replaced, right? He needs to be the one that, team takes another direction, right? So do something, because you got a leash, he is there, he's going to deliver the numbers. Once you get him in the right place, you just need to get somebody to get him there.
Is Elish going to give you the numbers though? Has he been?
I mean, if you set him on the right path, he will.
Okay.
That's the thing. I just wish they went in another direction. Maybe they will.
That's fair, because I've had that opinion in the past, but I kind of came around on JT where I think like complexity, I think he's been a little bit underrated in his calling. Obviously, it's not like any kind of like mind-blowing tactics or strategies, but I think he's called for them fine. But I mean, certainly, I think pointing the the issue at leadership isn't the worst thing in the world when there seems to be issues within the team, people getting quiet. That comes down to who's the leader, who's kind of establishing the energy within the team in those moments and the focus in the team in those moments.
I mean, it's kind of those like long relationships where you exceed the moment and you don't want to really be with each other anymore, but you're just used to each other, and it's like you can't really escape it anymore until you just cut it completely, right? So I think that's what they need to do.
I'm going to pick your brains about Liquid. I'm sorry.
I'm going to pick your brains about your past girlfriend.
We're getting some psychology out
There's
there.
a content idea. Jesus Christ.
Liquid, I think, has to be the biggest disappointment for my money, particularly with the start we saw in Copenhagen. I think we all got gaslit by it, and then actually the reality
you need to stop.
back.
Like, you're always focusing on the negative. You need to be a little bit more positive.
Glass half empty kind of girl.
Why are you talking about Liquid being a disappointment instead of how great is it the ascendance of 9? That they've made it, that they've justified like some of the qualifying that they've managed to do before, right? They've taken that next step. I think for Liquid, we're just seeing the growing pains, really, right? A couple of players that are new to Tier 1 Counter-Strike, or I guess mostly Rainmaker, but also Yakinder new to the IGL role, and I think their playbook is just a little bit too thin at the moment, right? For a team that's as good as 9, especially with the map pool, they had to play them on Vertigo, and it was always going to come down to the third map. But you could see that they crumbled a little bit towards the end of that game. It was 9 coming back off of a half-buy win to close it out.
I would buy it if it was only 9 that they lost to, right?
Sure.
I get your point, but the big game even, like, I know they won it, but that got hairy at times,
got
right?
a little sketchy for sure. I think it's a lot of communication issues. I think it's a lot of like a clash in terms of how players philosophically like to approach situations in the game. I saw a lot of like really ugly like 3-on-3 retake scenarios, post-plant scenarios where you have guys like Patsy and Yakinder who love being aggressive, making moves before guys like Naf and Rainwaker who are more passive were ready to kind of pounce on it, ready to kind of like make it a cohesive attempt. So I think there's some sketchiness in that area. I think obviously the Yakinder as an in-game leader conversation is going to be one that goes on forever until he can truly prove it. And I think what scares me about it the most, Yakinder strikes me as an in-game leader who's like, this is how I want to play, and I want my players to fit into that structure rather than saying, these are the players I have. Let me build the system with the tools that I'm working with. And I mean, I think that's a pitfall that most new/young/inexperienced in-game leaders would fall into. But that's got to be developed over time.
He killed his value as as an entry fragger, becoming an IGL. Did you see his numbers drop immediately, like massively? And as a player, when he wasn't an IGL, he had a massive, tremendous value as an entry, like creating space for players like Naf and whoever was.
I think that there's just so many moving pieces too, because when you think about it, like Naf almost has to slide into a role now where like previously he was a little bit more passive for Liquid in previous iterations, where he kind of got to wait for most of the action to occur and kind of pick and choose his battle. And it feels like now he's kind of almost got to slot back into a position, back like when he was more on Renegades, where he has a little bit more freedom to be like the powerhouse of the team. So you have Naf kind of trying to slightly adjust.
Yes.
Yeah, I know.
Listen, I don't know. Like Kinder is that new hotshot, like mayor of a town. He's giving all these promises, and initially, crime is up, unemployment is up a little bit, but he can still turn it around. He can still deliver on his promise. That's what happens in real life too.
What is crime in this metaphor?
It's like
his numbers are down, crime is up, he's criminal, his performance is criminal.
Okay,
they have to break it down to you, Jason.
I'm with you, baby.
The taxes, like, I'm going to cut taxes if you elect me as a, just those type of...
I mean, the promises sound great, but yeah, unfortunately, no turning around for Team Liquid here. The remaining teams, though, not only fighting for pride, beautiful trophy, a hell of a lot of prize money, but also a notch on the Intel Grand Slam belt. So let's head over to the sideline to check in the current state of affairs.
Well, let's talk Intel Grand Slam, because it has to be in the back of your mind anytime we're at one of these IEM events and the ESL Pro Tour events, because it is so hard to get your hands on. It is $1 million, but you need to be incredibly consistent.
Oh yes, that consistency comes with winning multiple events, 4 in total, including one of the championships alongside other ESL events. And there's only limited teams that have even had a chance of getting that. Astralis being the first, then into Liquid, Na'Vi, and most recently FaZe Clan. But now the race is still on for the next one.
It definitely is. It's also interesting that you said that. That's such an elite club, right? Because it is so illustrious to get your hands on that Intel Grand Slam. And a lot of those names are also on here. And that goes to show what big of a step you could take forward if you do manage to win IEM Cologne. But as you said, it is Vitality and ENCE that are one step closer so far.
Oh yes, one step closer. But who is going to be the next one? It's going to be someone here at Cologne. But maybe Vitality's the one of the ones that could grab it. Maybe ENCE will come through and they'll have another shot at it. Guys at the desk, who do you think is going to be the ones to grab it next time?
I mean, it would be great if the likes of ENCE or Vitality did get one, because don't forget, you need to be getting a Masters level event, that is either Katowice or Cologne, to be in contention with getting the Intel Grand Slam. But gentlemen, do you think we'll see another champion rise from this 16?
Yeah, I think it's going to be G2. No one expects
Any logic?
No one expects
no, it'll be opening day jokes.
They were poor at Blast, right? But that's the point of Blast. You go there to suck, so you can be good here. So you get through the initial,
it's like the level of event is equal to the level of the team,
right? And they rise to the level of their opponents, Freya, and they're in a very difficult group, right? That group looks like it's already playoffs of Cologne. The other one looks like it's the playoffs of the Blast Major.
The G2 winning that would be the worst thing ever, because then they would be like, oh yeah, we got it back, and then another year of pain and misery and my tweets, and nobody wants that.
Nobody wants that.
Nobody wants that at all. You know what I do want,
anything.
Gentlemen? Schedule. Yes. We do have to touch upon it, because we have 6 best-of-3s going down today. 3 on the A stream, 3 on the B stream side of things. We've got the A stream kicking off with Cloud9 versus Fnatic. Then it's going to be G2 versus Astralis, followed by MOUZ Na'Vi. Jason, do you think G2 are going to come out on top of an Astralis that's been looking pretty good?
Yeah, that could be a sketchy trap game. That's the perfect kind of game for G2 to lose and disappoint. And then obviously you can see here on the B stream, Monty and Gamer Legion, 9 taking on ENCE, heroic Mongols to round out the day.
I just want to say I like that James mentioned ENCE. I think this is another opportunity for them. Okay, they did it in Dallas. They finally lifted the trophy. But here you need to build on that, right? I feel like you need to make the playoffs, especially considering their group, right? It is the more easy of the 2 groups. So I think for ENCE, that would be a great way to stay consistent and also build on that moment in Dallas.
I love ENCE as a team. I love watching ENCE right now. I think they're such a fun team to watch. I think they've got so many cool tools. I've enjoyed watching Snappy's leading for like a year or 2 years now. So ENCE is such a fun team for me.
Well, Jason, I'm sorry, you're going to have to hold your excitement for a little bit, because that is our second game of the day. Our first game on the B stream side of things is going to be Gamer Legion versus Monty. But coming up on the A stream, it's Fnatic versus new Cloud9.
What is that reaction? Yeah, right. This would be an ace clutch from Poland. Oh my! Oh boy! FaZe Clan, the champions of ESL Pro League.
Poland's here. Oh my God! Are you gonna be kidding me? What a map! What a map!
The in-game leader, architect of every move and every win. The entry fragger, fearlessly leading from the front. The opper, the deadliest of them all. The support, the true difference between winning and losing. The lurker, everywhere and nowhere, patiently waiting to strike. It takes 5 champions to win. Which one are you?
Man, this is the roster everyone is excited about. And I understand, I saw the news, we don't get Axel to start.
Yeah.
It's a shame because we wanted to get that taste straight away.
Yeah.
But I mean, this is in most people's mind, if you were building a dream Russian-speaking roster, this is it, right?
Of course.
And for you, the amount of teams and players you've played with, this mix of players is very exciting on paper.
Of course.
But it's different on paper than it is in the server. You know, personalities and communication. Right? So do you feel like you got some work ahead of you? You feel like you know, is it exciting or is it intimidating, the amount what you've got to work with now?
First of all, I'm so excited to play.
Yeah.
It's really different to play on Prax and on tournament. On tournament is always different, you know. On Prax, of course, the things going well.
Yeah.
And to be honest, I'm very sad that Axel didn't come here just because we spent so much time together. I mean, a lot of Prax, a lot of theoretic stuff, you know. We tried to adapt to each other. We did a lot of work past 2 weeks, right? And we came here, we standing, but still, I believe we can go through.
Yeah, no, absolutely. How do you feel Electronic and Perfecto as characters are going to be able to integrate with Shiro and Axel? I mean, those are 2 very new voices in the team. Do you think they're going to benefit Axel and Shiro?
Yeah, you know, I'm going to say that before Electronic and Perfecto in TeamSpeak, always we're talking Tafani, Shiro, and me.
Oh, really?
Yeah, and now everyone talking.
Yeah.
And too much noise, you know, but it's good.
That's a good problem to have.
Yeah, you know, it's better than silent things.
Yes.
And, you know, the Perfecto he's communicating very well.
Yeah.
I mean, he's very unique player.
Is he calm? Like in my mind?
He's calm, but at the same moment, he's very energetic. Yeah, you know, he's trying to communicate, he's trying to help, he's trying to support. And of course, Electronic is like on the level which we need to try to step.
Yeah.
To be on the same level like him.
Right.
You know, communication.
Really?
The calls, the understanding of the game. Of course, he was playing for Navi. He was winning a lot of tournaments. You know, he was playing under Zeus, and he understands a lot. Yeah. So, of course, he's trying to use it inside the server.
Yeah.
And you know, everything will show tournament games.
Yeah, how wonderful.
It's because it's very different and it's hard to say. Of course, I'm gonna say that we have a lot of firepower.
You've got lots of firepower.
Yeah, you know, communication on good level, everything on the top level, I'm gonna say. But tournament will show
hell yeah,
every mistake and every gap what we have.
What is your calling?
Making their way plain sailing from the play-ins, Fnatic rearing their heads today at the group stage of the Intel Extreme Masters Cologne 2023. And so far, so good for the squad. Mezzi unleashed without the mantle of leadership over his head. But today, they will be turning to face 4/5 of the beast of Cloud9. We have all been hyped to see them entering the server. Obviously, with a little bit of an adjustment, the asterisks of Axile unable to join the squad for now here in Cologne. I'm still very excited to see the convergence of Electronic and Perfecto entering this new blue jersey anchor.
Yeah, absolutely. I think this is the one change where you're like, okay, this is the biggest upgrade for a team during the player break. You already have Shiro and Exile. Now you get Electronic in there too. Now you get Perfecto as well. Hobbit as the 5th guy. I mean, yeah, the sky is the limit really for the team. Unfortunately, they don't have Exile, but listen, they can still make it to the playoffs, and that's where supposedly he would arrive. And then imagine that we get the full beast for the playoffs.
I feel like people are not like understanding the level, the highest, the skill level of this team, right? Even without Exile right now, I think they can definitely make it to the playoffs. Yes, it's not going to be the easiest path because of the positioning and everything that's going on, but I think they can do it. And this is like the scariest lineup in the past year that I have seen, like in terms of like roster changes and everything. And I had to share a little bit of a bar talk. Rain told me yesterday that Electronic is flip side Electronic now. So take that however you want and be scared.
Okay, that's sounding pretty scary. Let's go and check in with the man himself. It's Electronic on the mic with Banks.
Now this is going to take some getting used to. Electronic in a Cloud9 shirt after so long on Na'Vi. And first thing I want to touch on here, Electronic, is you stayed as the IGL now coming into Cloud9. Is this a personal choice, what you wanted?
Yeah, I mean, there was only one team that I want to be an IGL. For them, it was a Cloud9. The other teams, no, just only Cloud9, because I know that this team have a lot of potential and individual players, right? So it will be much easier for me to build a system and build a good team with these players, right? Yeah, it was my personal choice, and I want to be, as I said before, right? A lot of times I want to be a best in-game leader in the world. There is not that much a good in-game leaders in the world, so I want to be one of them, yeah.
Another goal for this man to achieve. Now, I heard from your manager, and we've been seeing it on social media, you guys have been practicing like crazy, so much time. But that was obviously with Axile. So how much time have you had with Buster, and how are you getting him into the system?
We played just like 2 or 3 practices with Buster, because we were believing that Exile will get his visa, but he didn't. So yeah, we didn't practice at all with Buster, I will say. But we will try our best, and yeah, I hope we will do good with him, because he's a good player also.
And is he just going straight into Axile's roles, or are you making more changes?
I think for us it will be much easier to give him Exile role, so yeah, we will put him on this one.
And for you guys, are you hoping Axile can come back for the playoffs? Is that a chance?
Yeah, I hope so.
Fingers crossed, fingers crossed. Let's see if we can get the full Cloud9 here in Cologne. That would be the dream to see. But Electronic's ready. Let's see if they can take down Fnatic. My man, look at you. You just got so good. So good.
Yeah, I think we're crossing all our fingers, all our toes. We want Axile to be returning to this Cloud9.
It's nice to see even Drago doing the interview. Just, I'm going to kill them all. I'm the best. I'm going to be the best IGL. Just going to kill them all.
I feel like you're just doing an impression of yourself, but okay.
I am Kassad.
Yeah, I think also for Buster, I mean, he's a guy who's very experienced, obviously played in the team. I wonder like how much their style is going to change, if at all, to the old Cloud9, right? But I think there's still enough firepower on this team.
Yes.
They shouldn't lose too much in terms of team play, right? Sure, you can't really replace a guy like Axile, but Shiro's still there, Electronic, Hobbit, Perfecto, like they can get it done, and that should be the mindset. It shouldn't be like, well, this isn't really it. No, it's like, let's get this done, and then let's get the guy in here and play the playoff.
We got to hear it from Banks that Electronic, he did want to be the in-game leader for the side of Cloud9. I know it's been a bit of a contentious debate as to whether we wish that he would be relinquished from that role. What's your take on this, Kassad? Are you happy to see him still be leader?
I'm just happy that Rain told me that we're going to get flip side Electronic, right? Look at the stats before and before we became Agile, and as it's a little bit of a drop, but I think right now he has a little bit of a different pieces in mind, and I think he adapted to this role, and it's going to be even better than that he did in Na'Vi. So if you look at it like pre-IGL, it's just pretty sick. He's obviously always top 20 player for me, and sometimes he would be even top 10, but I just want to see the old one. You know, the old one that drops 30 every single game, the superstar Electronic.
All things considered, it's not that much of a difference.
Yeah, but
right?
that's the point. If he becomes an IGL, you're probably not going to get those superstar level performances. Not necessarily because he has to lead and some of his mental focus is going on that. Also, he has to change some positions on the map to be where the action is so he can do a better job of calling. And that's probably the case for not having him be the IGL, so you could get that superstar level. But hey, he doesn't need to be a superstar in this team for them to be the best team in the world. He's got Shiro, Axel, Perfecto, Hobbit, right? He just needs to do his own thing, lead the team, help with the mid rounds. Like that's where Cloud9 struggled the most, and then it's all gravy.
And also helping with, I guess, the emotional mentality of the team, because we saw them absolutely cracking, right? We just have to look back to the RMR. Basically, the entire first half of this year was disappointment from Cloud9.
Is he the guy, though?
I don't see Electro. Oh, yeah. Oh, my God. I spoke to him yesterday on Media Day, and he was like, I'm not taking no shit. No egos in this house. We are all collectively a team together.
I like that. And I think, you know, again, with the negativity, Freya, but whatever. I think absolutely that was an issue for Cloud9. You could see them like look defeated before the game was over. As soon as the team like starts coming back against them, you have no faith whatsoever that they'll be able to close it out. It was only Nafany really shouting and trying to pick everyone up. And now when you have Electronic and Perfecto in there, and obviously just such a big change in the roster, it's going to feel like a big change for the other players too. And it's going to give them a bump. You know, you heard it from Hobbit in the talk with Machine, right? He said, oh, before it was only me and Shiro laughing around. Now it's like everyone. So you could tell that it feels like the vibe and the atmosphere within the team is better, and that's really important.
It's upgrade in every aspect, right? Psychologically, they're going to be better, right? Skill-wise, they're going to be better. Breath of fresh air is going to be there. You know how it is when the roster moves happen, like a honeymoon period and everything. Everything is going to be, looks like it's going to be really good for them, and it's the most scary lineup this year.
Moving on over to the side of Fnatic, obviously we've seen a change in leadership over there, but it's Mezzy relinquished of that mantle, and boy, has he opened up, Janko.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, he's been playing incredibly well so far in the tournament, and I think we talked about his versatility and what he's capable of. Roy helping him out, especially in that series against 9. He was the highest rated player, and you know, we saw Roy's peaks at times. They were really high, even in Fnatic, especially in Copenhagen Flames. So we'll see, like with this roster, can they find that synergy? Can they mesh in a way where these guys can keep delivering on this level consistently?
Yeah, the ceiling for these guys is pretty sick, right? But the thing is, like, he's too inconsistent. I don't know if it's him or the environment around him or the things that happened, you know, before in the Danish team, Copenhagen Flames, was it? And, you know, he's not the spring chick. He's not like super young, but he's still delivering a number when he's in a good mood.
I think one thing that interests me as we get closer to this game for Cloud9 is Cloud9's best map was Vertigo, which was the permaban for Na'Vi, right? And then a really good map for Na'Vi was Nuke, which was the permaban for Cloud9. So what are they going to stick with?
Still banning out Nuke.
So they do go with vetoing Nuke, Fnatic vetoes out Mirage. So here we'll get a bit of a closer look as to what Cloud9's map is going to look like. I would be surprised if they picked Vertigo. Like, yes, it was very good for you. Fnatic does it instead, banking on the fact that, you know, Perfecto and Electronic aren't really familiar with the map on a very high level. Cloud9, Anubis.
Anubis,
wow,
okay.
That's a bit of a curveball.
Huh.
I feel like this is a punish pick a little bit, right? Like it does have that feeling. Obviously, the overpass is for Fnatic in the second stage. It's I don't know what we're going to get in. Maybe Inferno as a decider. The thing is, like with these new lineups in the standings, we don't know exactly at the beginning of the season who is going to be good on what map. So this is like surprising to us as well. But Anubis, I didn't expect that at all.
I'll also tell you, I'd be very surprised if Electronic is like full-on calling immediately on Vertigo. I would expect him to get a lot of help from like either Hobbit or Shiro, right, while he gets used to the map really and playing it on a tier 1 level. And we see Ancient as the decider. That was like pretty good for Na'Vi and Cloud9 as well in the old iterations, but also one of the favorite maps for definitely for Roy and, you know, the Fnatic guys.
Yeah, coming on to Vertigo as the first map. Kassad, where are you looking at for the side of Fnatic on this one? Why do you think they've brought it into the mix?
Obviously, I mean, we have to look at Mezzy. Like, he is the one who needs to deliver high numbers to keep up with Shiro, with Electronic, and the whole Cloud9 squad. He needs to be, if he doesn't deliver numbers and get the support from Roy, it's going to be a problem.
But I think also, we just saw Afro on your screen, right? I think he has the potential to pop off because he's a guy that's relentless. You know, we saw him get shut down a couple of rounds against Complexity, like get punished for his aggression, but he still kept coming at them, and eventually it paid dividends. So I think for Cloud9, what they were really good at is defaults, right? Being defensive at the start, punishing that aggression. So that will absolutely have to be on point for them because Fnatic is a team that likes to get in your face.
Well, we've been so hyped to get our first taste of Cloud9, and now it is time to do exactly that. We begin on the map pick of Fnatic, a bit of an unfamiliar ground for Electronic and Perfecto. We're going to be starting on Vertigo, and it's Chad and Alex to bring you all the action.
Yes, Chad and Alex, who feel like children on Christmas Day. We get to have a look at new look Cloud9. And going up against the Fnatic that impressed at the play-in here in the group stage, the fact that they were one of the first teams to secure a spot during the play-in, like day one, locked in.
And I think a lot of people were sleeping on Fnatic, right? This roster change, it was down the bottom of the barrel of the exciting ones, as opposed to Cloud9, which was at the tippy top. Now we have to make sure the asterisk of the whole Buster situation is in play here, but we're still excited to see the likes of Electronic and Perfecto on Navi's permaban.
Well, yeah, and the way in which you're hearing Electronic talk about this team.
Sounds like a baller, doesn't it?
You're hearing whispers in the corridors about this team in practice. It's an exciting opportunity for us to get a look. It's not the look we were hoping to see immediately out of the gates, with Axel having issues with his visa.
There's a molly available here for Electronic's position. Does not have a smoke, so...
Oh, who needs the molly? You'll just use the Glocky. Roy,
well, they're in.
Takes down Electronic. Looking to start strong here, Fnatic. T-Star. Shiro bullets through. Safe plant from Dexter. Roy wants more blood. He had a high-flying performance. What? Shiro's caught Dexter through the smoke. I thought that bomb plant was a certainty. He falls upon Shiro now. A fake out from Afro. Pushing through. Roy keeps it level. It's really hinging on Roy. He can't get more. Yes, he can. A third. Someone put a bullet in him. 20 HP. A 2-on-2 emerges. This isn't a fruity pistol.
I need to get that bomb back here, and Shiro patrolling. Yet to be scooped up. Perfecto over towards elevator room, and hold up a minute. Roy has dipped on back, just making sure. Nothing from behind here. Crimson Roy against Shiro and Perfecto on this A site. 30 seconds now.
Now, by cutting the noise, it has isolated Perfecto away. You see he's going to for a quick glance middle, but it does look like they'll be in position. Roy. Primed, ready, spotted. Should be Shiro to isolate. Now they get the info on the last. It's only Crims yet to frag in a 1v2. Perfecto to reposition. Crims, ooh, gets the info. 10 seconds, fakes out. Needs to find a frag. Can't do it. Crims down, holding his nerve is Shiro. A triple kill, and look at this. Oh, the vibes are so high.
Who's the in-game leader?
The vibes. I just got goosebumps all over my arms just seeing Shiro. Focus. He's laughing, Chad.
Yeah.
Laughing.
Okay, well, Shiro here denies the plan and does an awful lot more. 3 for him.
Look at them go.
I am the whole Counter-Strike world is hyped for this roster right here. And I think not having Axel as well, it alleviates a little bit of that pressure, right? Because the expectation was so high. It's like, well, he's not here now as Roy, the high flyer for Fnatic in the previous. Hits the deck early. Will be these Glocks as you look Fnatic as well. We have to remember they're also a new roster here. But
focus.
Hey, why the hell not?
Look how much communicate. Chad, you go. I'm just going to watch them.
Oh, you just look straight at them?
I'm just going to try and make eye contact. It'd be weird if we did make eye contact.
Yeah, if they peel their eyes off the screen, there could be some problems. Buster, a chance to farm some up with the MP9 right now. As Perfecto, as part of this wombo combo, he's going to jump up. Buster doing some good work, gets 2, and now it's just Afro who's been able to get a kill, sure. But almost as clean as you like that for Cloud9. We'll be getting into first gun round here. See the purchases coming in for Fnatic. They are going to have plenty of AK-47s, but no AWP available for new AWPer of the team, Afro. And we have new in-game leader of the team, Dexter, which promotes Mezzy back to the position of being a star. And him and Roy are going to have to be the rifling prowess of this one.
Mezzy, speaking of the devil, he's opened up the account on B. Buster to be exploited. There will be a contrast. There's so much responsibility on Axel on his B defense of the C9 CT side. And this time, Buster Goes for aggression and is punished. So a dream start to the first gun round of Fnatic. An advantage and pressure mid. Dexter smokes off to obscure that elevator hold. Applying pressure, forcing a reaction, and even, scaring Perfecto off. A rotation from Shiro indicated by the trajectory of these nades. 2 CT, he can say. Oh. Ouch! Perfecto sent to the Shadow Realm. Dexter through the smoke as well.
Huge work. You can just see how much attention he had glued to one player there. Shiro trying to get something done. His position noted more, and Dexter looking for exactly that. Cops a bullet between the eyes. Hubert and Shiro should be looking for the save here, and that's if they are given the liberty. Hubbert's gone walkabout. You can see MP9 would love to upgrade that. That all started with that entry. So Mezzi, you say he has to be the star, and well, finds an opening pick towards B. Then Dexter does all the heavy lifting. Don't worry about the B bomb site. Focus on me towards middle. Even missed his smoke, but still drew an awful lot of attention. And it will be Fnatic in their first round on the board here. One of the keys with this Fnatic roster, it is quite an older team when you consider the likes of Crims, Roy, and Dexter. But I think with that comes a bit of maturity to them as well, because the way Mezzi carries himself, he's also quite a mature lad. So I think that in terms of this team and how they're going to function together and the way they're going to talk to each other and solving problems, I think it's going to be done in a mature and open way. And hopefully, a lot of that baggage of not talking about things and the resentment that builds up within teams, this roster can avoid that.
I like that. I think that's a very valid framing of Fnatic, and there's a strengths and weaknesses column, and I think that falls very firmly into the strengths.
I think one of the weaknesses is like how long can you keep a roster with this type of an age? It was the same with the old Fnatic roster, right? Yeah. So Electronic aggressive now.
Look at this from Electronic. Yeah, he's trying to make the best of the MP9 situation. Wants to, well, in the absence of a full belt of utility, use his body to get that information. And Dexter, successful on his first venture middle, and this time he's not alone. He has 2 members of this Fnatic squad trying to take that space away. Now a re-smoke arriving, top of the stairs, and Mezzi might take that as his cue.
Boosting over.
Afro. Yeah, let's see what Buster... Oh, let's see. A single misjiggle here. I think Mezzi's caught a glimpse, a whiff. Roy's coming for him as well. Buster's scared, smoke to survive, and that's a lot of successful pressure applied by Fnatic. And Dexter onto Perfecto again. They're crunching. It's beautiful from Fnatic into the site. See you later, C9.
Yeah, you can understand why you'd want to pick into this map against C9, knowing Electronic and Perfecto. This was the permaban in Na'Vi. You can exploit this mid position where Perfecto has been tasked with anchoring down. Electronic filling the shoes of Nafany, aggressive over towards that A ramp, and well, Buster. You mentioned he has to replace Axal, who's one of the absolute best at holding that B bomb site on this map. So it's going to be a difficult task for Cloud9 when you consider some of those worries.
100%. Yeah, I mean, it's maybe out of date, the data that I'm referencing, but I will never forget Devilwalk talking about doing research for players on who to watch for B anchor defense. And the rating difference was the largest ever between Axal and the number 2, JKS, on that B site hold. It was like a 0.2 difference in terms of who could play that B site anchor position. It was Axal and then no one else.
You and Devilwalk must have got into quite the conversation.
Yeah,
there,
we got lost. We got lost. Well, just because I was talking about how much of a nightmare I have with it, and I was asking for recommendations as to who to watch.
Sure, all right. Well,
the only positive, that was it. That was what he said.
That's free coaching advice right there from Devilwalk, major winning coach.
Yeah.
Major winning player.
Yeah. And I just stopped playing B, actually. I made a different choice.
I think I'm suited a little bit more towards that A side.
Yeah, I think I'm just going to run down ramp. But either way, a 2-2 scoreline, and I'm going to shut up.
Yeah, this is the timeout call from Cloud9 here.
Okay.
You can see the early stages of these teams, how many people are willing to contribute with ideas.
Love that, yeah.
Right? And eventually what starts to sour after a couple of losses and a couple of calls that go awry is, people either get a bit scared or they don't want to make that anymore. These things change over time. But it's great to see Fnatic having Roy contributing on a map where, well, last time round to get them to this stage, I think he had 31 kills or something ridiculous. 1.88 rating.
He does seem reinvigorated, wouldn't you say? I think in contrast to...
how he's performing on the... Yeah, exactly. Precisely.
Shuffles.
But him on Copenhagen Flames was a monster, right? It was an absolute beast.
Precisely. But I like the first look at Afro, bringing the fight to Shiro with that T-side AWP. Looking for answers is Shiro, managing his angles well, and wow, quick pot shots to the toes will have to fall off, and Roy, just hot in pursuit. That's a lot of space again for Fnatic. Whenever they wanted space, they've taken it, be it B stairs, top ramp, it's theirs again, and they've got so much time. Do you think they're going? Off the rip, Shiro over and commits to the spray. Finds Roy, a good contribution. Shiro tagged up, will need a lot more considering the rest of his teammates. These preserved rifles, yeah, Shiro's is now taken from him, but Perfecto's element of surprise thwarted. And Hobbit rocking a CZ-75. Grim's down.
Bomb loose.
That's the problem. Advantage for Cloud9. No armor on two of them. Mezzy handing out haircuts, double on the push of the smoke. And that lines up for a, I was going to say plant buster, looking for the rifle in the smoke, hoping he can perhaps piece together a 1 versus 2. Really hesitant to plant. They don't know where he is, and that rifle too far gone, I'm afraid. Buster staring at him now. Afro.
The gap's presented itself here, and there's a kid.
Kit AK. And you catch Mezzy. An opportunity. Goes awry, a triple for the Brit, and 3 in total for Fnatic. Is that on the trot? It is.
Yeah, I like that there. So you see how they do the deep elevator smoke, knowing they're against a couple of save guns and lighter by, so you can't just get swarmed by pistols pushing through on flash timings. It gives them a bit more room to work with, means they're not so pressured on the side right there. And Fnatic will be taking the lead here, but we'll see if Cloud9 get back into the weapons. Shiro with the AWP, his weapon of choice. No kit here for the CT side. And a standard split of the defenses here. Deep ramp smoke. Afro going to try and search over the top of that as establishing a one way to work with here for Mezzy. So obscuring the view, and then he can play around it, be cheeky on players who want to play up towards that wooden cubby. And he's doing a good job of searching and applying pressure. If he can continue to bully Buster, think about how many rounds they've pressured B and middle. It is going to force them to play a different setup, which you can see from Cloud9 right now. Shiro has to play mid, Perfecto and Buster dealing with this early B pressure, and that means A is not as heavily fortified by Hobbit and Electronic.
Speaking of A. Coming to play, Hobbit flashed up.
Gonna pick this.
Audible, toe spotted, Dexter caught, no trade, Roy might have him. Hobbit stubborn, and it's Mezzy once again in this head-to-head with Buster, with support, Flash as well, so they know a little bit more as to how the CTs are positioned.
He had the defense almost exactly as they'd like it here, Fnatic, but still giving up the opener. Plenty of util to try and finish this, so grouping together now with about 50 seconds left on the clock. Afro searching. Yeah. This is a well-placed molly.
Does he hit it? Does he hit it? Turns to... Oh, it's an extinguish.
He saw the trajectory.
They know. Ouch, that nade leaves Hobbit with very
Roy has one as well.
With. That's sure, he pushes wide. Crims was holding. And leaves us into an AWP head-to-head that Shiro was unprepared for. A valuable contribution now from Afro. Not in a hurry, but with 20 seconds, they do need to get a wiggle on. Electronic needs help, needs support. Perfecto to distract. Maybe Electronic. Ooh, he had a chance onto the bottom carrier. Roy saves them, and just in the nick of time, the frags come through for that plant. Buster 1v3. Can he deny? It doesn't look like it. And Fnatic securing another. That was hanging in the balance for a while, and Roy's name in the feed twice.
That one feels really good, especially considering you give up that opening pick, right? The one-way smoke, the way it gets abused, you're in a number disadvantage situation, you isolate that sandbag kill, you finish him off, and you get into the site relatively easily here. This was the death of Hobbit trying to get out of the sandbag position. Roy as well, playing on that little tightrope there, knocking off a couple. And Electronic, yeah, felt like he could have done a bit of damage, but well cleared, and Cloud9 will be back down to just another partial investment here. Again, having to start too early over towards B. And in these situations, you're always going to take a bit more of a risk on the CT side. Where do you want to hedge your bets? Where are you going to look for fights? You have some smokes, a couple of deagles, USP on Shiro, who's going to want to get himself into an AWP yet again. Really not a whole lot to write home about here for Cloud9 unless one of their individuals pops off. Yeah, lots of pressure, right? And they baited out that smoke. So mission accomplished over towards B for now. As Fnatic, they're really not in a rush, right? They're being quite thorough. They're doing it together, not giving away any individual frags if they don't have to. And they have all the advantages in the world in this one. Consider the position of Electronic over towards the side. The only man currently tasked. As you can see, the rotation of Hobbit starting to cheat over now. Perfecto not too far away, and this should signal the fight is coming. A one-way smoke deployed just to delay things for a little bit longer here.
The only threat really is Hobbit being overlooked and having backs turned on him. And we said Fnatic, they're not in a rush, right? That smoke might be weighted out and loses its potency, but Hobbit's position perhaps, yeah. Oh, pushing! And received well. Afro not caught out. Electronic present and popping. Heads. Crims is dead.
Time's
18
an issue.
seconds. Messi has to step up, and now he's dead too. Planting. Dexter could go down. Perfecto's right in front of him. Roy trying to hold on. It's getting slippery. 2 versus 2. Cloud9. They are making a threatening round after this. A nice shot from Afro. That should be all she wrote. But my goodness, close. Saved by Afro, really. Dexter tagged as well in that smoke. It could have gone so many different ways.
Yeah, very fortunate that the rifles dropped over towards Gap. It couldn't be scooped up, right? Couldn't be used against them there. And some, I want to say standard shots for Afro, but important shots considering the circumstances of the round, right? So good work from him. You know, other AWPers may miss, they may get a little bit under the pressure, but...
Are you hearing that other game? There's like a lot of roars between Monty and Gamer Legion. That's begun as well.
Yeah, so we know Demka likes to get loud.
He certainly does. 7 rounds deep into their first map as well. Be sure to check that out. ESL.
Twitch.tv/ESLCS.
CS.
Oh yeah, well, CS for us and B for them.
CSP.
Yeah.
I'm there now. I'm getting there. Bang. Very significant damage to Dexter. Missing a finger or two.
Buster the AWPer.
The AWP, of course.
Well, Mezzi can't apply pressure towards B right now, so that's a big scalp to take.
Mezzi wasn't expecting a secondary AWP, and well, Shiro's got one too. They make that clear. As Roy sent 6 feet under.
Limits the options as well here, Mezzi going down, so can't really rotate back towards B. We'll just have to try their luck, hope they can get a kill here over towards the A side of the map. Fnatic already drawn back a 4v5 disadvantage. 3-on-5 would be something special.
Well, you said the shots were necessary yet pedestrian. I think Afro would have to do something quite incredible to get them into this one.
He can keep creeping here.
This would be set for success onto the electronic angle. Losing health and hope. 20 HP left. Afro's down. And Fnatic hang their heads as they lose this round. Perfect from Cloud9. You can see they're coming. Ooh, he's alive. I like the reflash. That's cool, but too many angles. Too many men.
All right, well, the double orbs worked immediately here, but Fnatic are now aware it's in play. So we see a lot more pressure towards mid, maybe over towards B and try and swarm this. Oh, and Electronic, he wants a drop. And I can guarantee you right there.
Divide the way.
I think there's so many interesting things about this. Not only is there the conversation about this Cloud9 roster being under a new in-game leader, right? That's exciting.
That is.
There's also Electronic and Perfecto not being in Na'Vi, right? Getting to see what attitude they adopt, the type of people they are outside of that team, right? We all know that it's a tense environment over there. I'm curious if they bring that with them or if this new adventure is something a bit refreshing to the soul.
Yeah, lessons to be learned, huh? For us and for them.
Yeah, exactly. And timeout being called. Fnatic do have enough money to get a buy going here. Now remember, the double AWPs. So off the back of this, how do they want to address this problem? Didn't buy into MAC-10s or anything that might represent something quick out the gates, but doesn't mean that isn't the case with the rifles in hand. Gap smoke lobbed out from Dexter here. And a bit of a standard spread. So just going to go back to the default playbook as Mezzi once again will get himself over towards the B lobby. Crims alongside for the ride.
But you know, Afro, as well as all of them, are aware that there is that secondary AWP in play. That is going to affect your flight paths and your approach. And it's interesting that Cloud9, they keep it. Interesting. They're keeping it mixed up. 2-man mid-hole, which might facilitate some early aggression and info plays. Perfecto called upon to hold B solo. Mezzi, you can see that, a little bit of pep taken out of his step after the Buster AWP. Continues to show presence though. He's trying to serve out his purpose in a
I think we just saw that, didn't we?
pacifist way. Yeah.
A second diff of that one. So really limiting the aggressive positioning of Cloud9 to make sure they're not playing for info. But Electronic next up to the plate barrel. Spotted and killed. Not delivered. Roy, huge.
Wow. And now missed shot from Shiro. He is in trouble. He is in jeopardy. Dexter's got him locked. And Fnatic have found access. Resmoke on Elevator. This is now a conversation about not winning, but surviving. Unless Dexter gives this to Hoppit cleanly, they might have a look in. Just enough to get him out. And with no kit present, you play the advantage through. Crims is on his way to try and take something extra away. Buster holding it on.
There's a lot of time for this as well, so Crims doesn't have to rush. Look, bomb only halfway gone. Also, sound cues that you may hear a scope towards middle, somebody trying to sneak towards the ladder room.
Perfecto's already considering it. You can see just considering every option on B. Crims and Perfecto, there will be friction. There will. He's been spotted out, doesn't want to lose his own weapon. And goes and calls it quits. 6-3, good haul for the T side already, and an impressive round conversion considering we're coming into those double orbs. And I think, yeah, that angle from Electronic, or rather the approach from Roy, you saw it gave him, he knew what was coming, but supported, covered. This is what I was talking about. And in terms of who gets that frag, Dexter already engaging. Electronic's days were very much numbered. Good find from Fnatic. Cloud9 just boasting 3.
It is difficult for Cloud9 as far as the info goes right now. As mentioned, they were getting harassed towards B, so you couldn't play close. It means you can't play white box with that util that Mezzi threw out twice. They're also making sure they can't be wood. They're, throwing an awful lot of util to dissuade. And then just creep up towards A. Dexter is quite truly letting Roy just be this Terminator and contact in towards the side, and he's just along for the supportive role. So, good stuff, and basic CS working for Fnatic here. If you keep hitting those type of shots, keep finding the openings, going to be looking good for a couple more. 6 on the T side so far. Max lost bonus in play for Cloud9, and we do see the buy come back out with those saved rifles. Shiro gets his AWP back in hand, and that means Buster downgraded to just an M4.
Jab smoke through. And 2 pushing B. Afro, he was full flashed on that.
They're getting so much access.
Every time.
Yeah, you need to try and stall this out here. Wow. Good nade damage.
Very good nade damage. Yeah, practically 100. Delta. Fnatic start.
This one way that's dropped, it's so well known. You can see Mezzi was acknowledging as soon as the smoke was dropped out here. Creates a little bit of a gap you can try and be cheeky through, but
what, this one here?
Yeah, so but Mezzi can abuse it against them if push up, right? This is the thing. It's so well known at the moment. Now he's going to throw out one of his own. So any tricks you've got, I've got them as well. When smokes on smokes on smokes, B is blocked here, but that just shows you how much pressure, because there's a minute left on the clock. Mezzi's doing a great job, and that flash even better up the ramp. Roy with another opener.
Oh, they're screaming. AWP trap sandbags. Hoping for the punish. That's the end of Shiro. Great work again from Roy. Crim's dead. He did significant damage to Hobbit. And with 50 seconds now for them to piece together this final element of their attack. Regrouping. Roy, I have to continue to sing his praises. Does seem reinvigorated, returning to that kind of, well, if you'll pardon the pun, his flame form. You can't really contest this. A flash. Just to try and facilitate a frag.
It's going to do it.
It's good.
Oh!
It's not. Perfecto gets away at 10 HP, and now they actually have the advantage for this retake. Afro, important shots to be hit here. Smoke on the bomb. He takes some liberties, going wide. Doesn't want to be the first to take that pot shot. Calls the bluff on the fade.
Oh, no!
Oh, that leaves a mark. That is a problem, and they will take the round. Punishment back. He's having too much fun.
I wish I knew what he was saying.
I know, right?
I wish I knew what he was saying.
But I mean, like, we've watched this man on our screens for so many years. I've never heard that tone. I've never seen
bubbly,
that enthusiasm.
Smiley.
It's like I mean, it's like a different person in the best way, but it's interesting all the same.
Yeah, and this time of round, the best way all the same. You know, the fact that you're able to snatch this one away, Perfecto somehow surviving.
So much fun.
What is going on?
I don't know, man.
All
but
right.
I mean, it's a joy to watch. Let's go. Big retake and a bit of a, first blemish on the Fnatic record. I feel like that one could have and would have been theirs.
Yeah, you see the dink towards the headshot box. The nade looked destined. I can't believe he dodged it, but here we go. 3-man start towards A. Shiro will be held at bay by the utility for now. And Fnatic, yeah, you can see them. This is the play. You're getting B lobby control every single time. And they're going to set up. This is going to be an execute with all the flames laden across the floor. Smokes are plenty and flashes to go. And it's a free bomb site.
Vector and Buster went for 2-man mid. Their reaction's integral now. Every second here. Upon the execute, they have decisions to be made. Spray through the smoke, keeps them at bay. Considering aggression, and it's actually Dexter to draw first blood. Sprays through into Buster. More to be found, more to be... Ooh, hard. Electronic caught by a lot of damage. With just 7 HP, he sticks around and profits. That's one down. Big frags back. Shiro and Electronic have given him away in. And Crims, he's late to the party. Bomb is ticking in his favor and planted for him. But with a 1v3, there's an AWP in the mix. It feels like a certainty that Crims cannot flip and turn the tables in this one. Util out, smoke on the bomb. There's a kit in play, a fake as well. They know where you are, and they'll secure it. So into the site, sure, but Cloud9 demonstrating they're fine with that.
Yeah, one of the problems there for Fnatic, when they executed in, they used all their nades, right? So they had nothing left for the post-plant situation. So the bomb goes down, but as the smoke starts to fade, Cloud9 are happy with that. They pick up some key kills. The AWP of Shiro rings through, and they're able to scoop another away from Fnatic here. But this is great. You saw the aim port on display here from a few of the Cloud9 members. This is the thing, if you're calling your team into the site and you're getting the bomb down, you're doing a pretty decent job as an in-game leader. That next step is where you need to make sure your post plan is set up well, you have some good ideas of how you want to approach after you get in. And really for your players to make the most of the space that you've been able to create. They pop, Shiro under pressure here, grabs on with the AWP, the Tech9s keep coming, Hobbit bops up his little head, and Dexter's is lost. Afro here gives himself a smoke to work with to find the Tech9 upgrade, maybe even a bit of space over towards Sandbag, but that's going to be Cloud9 leveling things up, 6 apiece now. And they've managed to pick up 4 out of the last 5 rounds here.
Wow. And I just did some bad approximations on the utility damage, trying to add it all together. Cloud9 in just 12 rounds of play have managed to find over 5 kills worth of damage, 550 on their CT side. It just shows that, you know, we've got new names. We talked about it being the permaban for Na'Vi. Well, Perfecto and Electronic, they're contributing 200 utility damage between the two of them. But to 550 total for Cloud9 so far.
I think it's a good team to join to get up to speed on a map like Vertigo.
100%.
It's like, yeah, guys, we play this all the time.
Yeah, let me hold your hand.
We'll help you through this one, shall we? So, definitely going to be learning on the job, as it were, but you've got some good teachers. As Fnatic have taken their second tactical timeout here within this first half of play. Already should be pretty happy with 6 rounds. I want to make it a few more before we head into that halftime break. Hobbit to lob out the deep yellow smoke, so operating with a different defense over towards A here. Progression smoke, and yeah, Hobbit's going to play ahead of this.
I like this. Shiro goes for a very aggressive angle for that gap, and it's like a moth to the flame. Roy walks into the scope. When he was looking for a great opener. Now looking to seize the lead at Cloud9. 1 back from Perfecto before Mezzi gets to the punch. Shiro caught out on this one. Afro, oh, he's given him the warning shot. Nice back from Dexter. Puts Shiro on notice. He is alone on the site for now. Hobbit scarpering over to provide support. But it all hinges on this head-to-head. Mezzi knows that is wide open. Everyone, knife out, holding W. Hobbit and Shiro the same. It's a race. And Mezzi, first on the scene. Shiro, what's your plan now? Do you delay with the Molotov? The answer's yes. Afro dispatched through mid, hoping they can have a different angle of assault. Shiro making it no secret of his positioning. It's a nice smoke, actually. Look at that. Shiro's been pants because of it. Afro takes him down, and Fnatic sees the round.
Yeah, well handled there, right? They didn't just rush the plan. They allowed Afro to come through.
I could be brain farting, but is that another Fnatic 4v5, like converting from conceding? Because Shiro killed Roy first, right?
Yes.
So that's the second time we've seen Fnatic kind of dig themselves out of a 4v5 convincingly.
I think that was a 3-on-5, because Perfecto found Crimson middle and was then traded immediately, right?
Sir.
So yeah,
technically.
And that all really started to spiral. I wouldn't say because of the Buster push, right? Because Electronic died over towards Sandbag, over towards A, and then Buster pushed and got caught off by a bad timing. So, yeah, this is where some of the issues for Cloud9 are going to start to rear their head. But yeah, can't take it away from Fnatic here, hitting the necessary shots. It was well played within that mid-round, allowing Afro's lurk to come through when they knew there was a player trying to posture over towards CT. You love this, though. They manufactured that gap, right? You get Hobbit throwing the deep yellow smoke, they throw up progression smoke, you know there's a gap smoke in play as well, so you put Shiro out, just look down that little death tunnel, finds himself the gap, finds him the opener, but not enough. And still smiles on the faces. This might be the cutest romance in Counter-Strike history.
I agree. People are writing the fan fictions now.
All right, well, not done just yet at Cloud9 in the finance department. We've got 2 rounds left here in this first half of play. Remember, Holy Trinity of the map pool, Anubis and Ancient, if we need to get there.
Hallelujah. And for this head-to-head, it's exciting as well. Electronic didn't like...
You know that gun has a scope, right, Electronic?
Yeah, but he's going to use it like a shotgun. Up close, one-shot headshot. Take that. Take that. Oh, and delivers a heavy blow. Takes 2 down with the organ. There's more where that came from. No hope for Afro. And this round already gifted to the boys of C9. Unless Messi and Crims are really feeling fruity on this 2v4. They don't have the bomb. And they don't have much... Oh, brutal. Can't even stick around that Molly spreads.
Hobbit
has the bomb.
Look at that. Sitting on it. And it's going to cost him.
Gets his crosshead to him. Does a lot of damage, which really hinders the hopes and chances.
I think the bigger issue I see here is the fact that there's still 50 seconds left on the clock. And right now they are essentially playing a retake B setup. So,
and retake A.
Yeah, they're giving up an awful lot of space here. Now they can harass with Yuto. You can see Shiro has a molly. They are going to boost, so they might even be able to silently get their way up here. Nobody spotted towards default for Mezzi. He's up now. Crims can smoke and... Okay, well, they're worried about a player quad. Nobody's home.
Well,
here comes that Shiro molly.
Crims needs to try and live. 10 seconds. Buster extends, does take them down, and up to Mezzi. With just 9 seconds left, he's better off trying to get the kills, pushing the smoke, spamming him through. Perfect from Perfecto. Everyone's having a great time.
I think he was talking about Roy's one way there, you know. I heard a bad word. So we're learning it all here. I'm sure there's an AI that could probably live translate. Maybe I should get that up.
That's on its way, yeah. I think, do you remember the old Hellraisers player Zero?
Yes.
He's coded something.
Oh, in Counter-Strike, right?
Where it automatically
yeah.
subtitles your teammates.
Yeah, that's some next level. Smart cookie right there, I'd say. Oh, this is the final buy for Fnatic here.
It was Hellraisers, wasn't it? It was a red logo. Who did Zero play for? Anyway, that's just a fun trivia for you. Let me know on Twitter if I'm wrong. It's not that anymore. Sorry, let me know on X.
Yeah, with your posts.
Yes, posts.
Since you were here before. Oh, and Dexter's gone, so good find for Hobbit.
Not so lucky this time. Should be able to get away. 3 bullets don't find him. Oh, that is a considerable amount of damage. Electronic surely is gonna need to get bailed out, lined up. Hobbit. They wait for it, delay it, hoping to have as many faces staring at the sandbags. Oof, Shiro. He's been spotted and dismounted.
There's the flash. Ooh, he's not going.
Electronic's being pushed and Afro dead. Nice catch from Electronic. Just not feeling any pressure. You'd think he'd be feeling the pressure, but he's not showing any signs of it. And Crims has made a round out of this with a second quick succession onto Shiro. Considering that Buster flank, you know that B players likely have had a lot of liberties and could very well be about to ramp, but with 30 seconds left, and Cloud9 looking to end this half with the advantage. And they will do so. Secure. Looking solid. An interesting first taste, a first look at what new Cloud9 have to offer. We'll be right back with more.
kind of strapped for rounds. So if Acor doesn't go that much further above and beyond, somebody else needs to step up. Pound for pound, Monty simply better.
Yeah.
We get a big grouping outside of ramp. We'll see what Demka has to offer. He's been loud and rowdy and goes down with nothing. It's been Bro who stole the show at times throughout this half, putting himself up there with SDY and Waro. Isaac wants the jungle control, but there's 2 players here to deal with still. And bomb planted. No ticket push, no CT peek here from Gamer Legion. Now it's starting to unravel. They're stuck.
Oh my god, they dealt with that so well, man. That was like perfect protocols. Like Gamer Legion should have immediately gone to do something else. Like they should have. That couldn't have been better. They organized so perfectly, close. They backed up in the window. They played 3 favorable angles. They came in to pretend to fight from the opposite side of Murder Hole. And then you see like, oh crap, like we're going to have to fight full force team here if they want to get jungle control. And Monty said, no, this is our plan all along. Come.
Come die.
Come.
And they did. Oof. Oh, did they ever. Monty feeling it now.
You got good ass protocols.
Yes, sir. It always starts with Demka. But now I think Monty are starting to...
Vertigo, our first map as we get our first look. Cloud9 versus Fnatic. No Axile, seemingly no problem, at least so far. 8, they take the half, and Fnatic staying competitive. I think a lot of people were sleeping on Fnatic in the play-in, a lot of expectations for other names, but Fnatic not at the tip of the tongue, but find themselves here in the top 16 of Cologne. Let's get this one started. First day of play for the group stage. Our opening match is day 4 of IEM Cologne 23.
First half had Mezzi. Great job working that B lobby. Roy, the same thing over towards A. Managed to get themselves 7 rounds on the T side here. And Cloud9 still the favorites by the bookmakers. Afro taking a bit of contact early, and here they come. The train of Cloud9, it's in your face.
Yeah, let's see what Afro's got. He's got Dexter in support at least. Turn the flash. Great headshot out of Dexter, but Electronic says, anything you can do, I can do better. Doubles up. Crims will do the same. Contributes heavily. Ooh, gap for Electronic to try and punish, but that bomb goes down. Does it? Spoke too soon. I thought Shiro was holding that one.
Should have.
Smoke coming through. Messi now. Electronic would need to do... Oh, he has done a whole lot. Gets 3 before Shiro's thrust into the 1v2, and he's out of there.
Plenty of time to play this round out here.
Fake the steps.
Full-on reset. This is going to be Fnatic now. Are they going to split up? Are they going to stay together?
Gamble B?
There's just so many options, right?
Of course there is, but I mean, it looks like, just from their immediate body language, that they're going to gamble B. Like, essentially say, you're not fakey-ing us out.
Well, Crims is rocking a Glock.
That's what he needs for his 4th frag. It's going to have to be Crims. Oh. Okay, Fnatic can count on Mr. Consistent. Crims with 4 to secure their pistol round.
Damn, okay. Well, that's a massive one to rub away right there. Looked good with Electronic with that double up coming out short.
Now.
Yes, indeed. Both teams picking up their CT side pistols, and yeah, I think that Dexter frag, it happened in an instant. It was very important, and Crims, well, doing his best Shiro impression right there. Spamming players through the site smokes and getting even more done. Finding himself with a Glock in the final moments, and, well, speaking of Glocks, it's 4 plus a Hero AK-47 in the hands of Uncle Hobnob. He's been smoked off, drops a progression smoke of his own, and we'll try and play over this so they can't push on down yellow. You can see this elevated angle, giving him a decent line of sight. He's got the head arm behind it. Shiro has 1 flash as well if they want to try and make a play happen.
Yeah. And that's what they've been waiting for. Afro can't quite believe it. An AK, elevated AK to the face.
It's a huge start here. They can actually get that gun back. So Fnatic, I don't know if you're going to be able to do anything about this here. Keep in mind that 1 Shiro flash. Mezzi with space. Mezzi with so much space.
The only one though. And he'll take him down. Nothing to report. Electronic, the one that dropped that AK. Dexter confirms. Lots of action towards the ramp. Nade could be perfect if he nades it right. Bang onto Perfecto's nose. And that recovered FAMAS softened up. Crims reacting, flash in the sky, hoping to get info off of that, forces him back. Perfecto finished off, but there's Hobbit. Still with the AK, posts his second. Confirmation of presence, spots Roy on the crane, crosshair's good, and the frag is too. Hobbit doing so much for the boys. A triple kill so far, make it quad. He takes another scalp, 1 AK Chad, and they've got themselves the round, unless Mezzi can come up clutch. Rifle, he can work with that, 12 bullets, all he needs. Buster on site, Hobbit exposed. If he can just find Buster, waiting for the reswing.
He's got no idea. He's overlooked him.
This is so ridiculous. He's on a millimeter, a sliver left of concrete.
Living on the edge.
Find it, that SMG, the weapon for the job. He's not going to look at it. Hobbit, what an incredible round for Cloud9. Hobbit, Uncle Hobnob in the server. That's nuts.
Talk about impact. Electronic in-game leader drops him the AK-47 and Hobbit makes good on the promise. That is ridiculous.
Hobbit go kill, not a strat we've seen too often.
And now it's just to limit the economy, right? You're not expecting to walk away with the round here. Get a couple of kills, you make sure the CTs can't have the best of buys going in the next one. Your AKs are coming out, but Hobbit kill after kill after kill, perfectly played.
And the audacity to sit there and not touch your mouse and keyboard and call Mezzi to try and find you. Hide and seek at the highest level, and that's going to break Fnatic's souls as this round, they forced it. Already losing 2 bodies.
Yeah, forced is probably a key word. Not only did they force the buy, they forced the issue. Aggressive, 2 of them dead immediately out the gates here. And this is better than winning the pistol for Cloud9. Perfecto does fall. Hobbit is low.
Yeah, if Afro pushes and kills the low HP Hobbit in spawn, that's a conversation, but he's gone for ladder.
21-7, what a round from Hobbit. If they convert off the back of it here, it's essentially worth 3 rounds. So, huge stuff and spotted now. Hobbit still on low HP, contributing. Roy gets something done sure. Cloud9 still have the utility and the weapon advantage, and Shiro having a good map as well, 18-9, a good first half. Grabs one more frag, and Buster will get that bomb down. Is he the final man standing here? Not really an awful lot he can do in this one. Hobbit would have to really overstep the mark to give this AK out for there even to be a bit of a chit-chat about him getting into this, but starting to back off now with the MP9. And I think he's going to be found here. Hobbit, this is so annoying. What else can you say, right?
No, I mean, you'd said it all. You said everything that needed to be said.
So 11-8 is going to be the scoreline after this next round of play here.
Looking very good.
Those 2 kills essentially came in before we even got back into game. That tells people how quick it was out of the round, right? You hold W, you get that contact within first 10 seconds.
And now Shiro gets to rock and roll with the MAC-10, looking to farm up some cash and get that longevity.
I think something in this team as well that might change, right? Because there were questions about, who's going to be the sacrificial lamb, who's going to run in. I think in the early stages of this roster, a lot more players are willing to make sacrifice. That's what happens in honeymoons. People are willing to put their body on the line for the good of the team.
Because you haven't built up like this doubt for your
precisely,
teammates.
right?
Yeah, so you're just like, I'll do it for you, bro.
Yeah.
Right into this together.
And this is where the good vibes are at all-time highs. With the honeymoon that we talk about, theirs is a little bit more interesting. They got married and then they brought a different partner on the honeymoon, but
yeah, it's 2023.
Not by any choice of their own.
And Shiro going to get at least 1 here.
Maybe not.
Wow, Dexter does 100-0 Hobbit.
I guess you're right. He did at least get 1, but poor Hobbit, man.
Poor guy, especially considering that's his 8th death.
He's doing such hard work. Well, Shiro obviously he wants to try and catch up, right?
Yes, so right. It's competition internally. Kaboom.
Okay, well, try and get away with that one if you can. Scamper back as Buster. He's got the Hoover out here. Find 2 Crims on the side looking to be a little bit more annoying. And yeah, I think that's all he'll be to Shiro, just an annoyance. Still going to try and give this one a crack here. Crims is either going to go down with the bomb or go down to the MAC-10, $600, and then up 8K upgrade. Thank you very much.
Damn diligent stuff. Make sure you get the $600 kill reward and then go back for the AK into the next.
Before the bomb detonates, so the AK doesn't get flung off the map.
Of course.
Planned. It was all planned.
Well.
Timeout number 3 for Fnatic here. Keita, an opportunity to get on the mic yet again and try and change the flow of this one. Started great, pissed around Crims, 4 massive kills. Lobbit on the board. Looks like they're hot to trot. Lose to the hero AK of Hobbit. And now you find yourself in a bit of trouble here. Afro's AWP not available. They will be operating with a 5-rifle setup for their first gun round here on the CT side. Let's see what they have to offer here. Now we're in the group stage. We still have a lot of learnings. We've got the new Gamer Legion roster taking on Monty right now. The new Cloud9 roster with an asterisk taking on Fnatic, who, as you mentioned, a lot of people slept on, including myself. I wasn't hugely impressed. I think Fnatic are down the bottom of the totem pole as far as team players are concerned of joining. It's like OG, right? It's a good name. You know, they've got the partnerships in some of these events, but they don't have huge names that you're signing behind here. Shiro fast with the AWP.
4-0 in opening duel, Shiro. Yet to concede an opening death. And it looks like he could be up for a 5th here as he's going looking. Roy, ouch! Finds him, hands him through the smoke, his arse, and his first opening death.
Yeah, Roy's trying to level out his department as well. I think he was about 3 for 5 within that first half.
Ouch.
Buster, not too shabby, using it against Mezzy. We spoke about it in the first half. And that head-to-head, they were jousting with Mezzy being the nuisance. Now it's Buster's turn.
That's a lot. I mean, considering the state of play,
I think that's probably where Buster is going to be pretty comfortable, because back when he was on Avantgarde,
yes,
I know, you know, with James,
right, in 1993.
Yeah, sorry everybody, I'm old, I get it. But he was working that B lobby as well, so you know there are some similarities. But in more recent time, especially when it's on this Cloud9 roster, Axel's going to get all of the key positions and the positions he wants, just being so strong as an individual. But they are going to look towards this B finish. And Dexter, you have to love this. He hasn't been caught. Hobbit. Dexter's talking. He's definitely heard something here.
This is such an opportunity. Oh, God, that's the bomb carrier. Electronic going to be
30
shouting,
seconds.
foaming at the mouth. Threat from both sides, though. Hobbit from the bridge side. Smokes it off. He's doing it. He's saying the bomb's with me. Come and get me, boys. He's got to push through a molly, push through a smoke. He saw your barrel. He knows what's up. You got the bomb. 18 seconds. What are you supposed to do? Die is what Perfecto does, and well, not much to be done for Hobbit and Buster.
Yeah, they're going to try and get this
single
ult.
man completely disrupting the T side.
Afro really wants this ult. He's not going to push the issue here. Thought maybe he'd love to go and pry that one out of the cold, dead hands of what should have been Hobbit there, but they'll get to retain it. Buster stays alive as well. But that is crazy. Dexter with the timing. Hobbit was acknowledging the ladder until he wasn't, and when you go back and you watch that, oh, the frustration.
Ready? 3, 2, 1. No, God, there is 1 second in it.
Damn.
And then Electronic, of course, completely pantsed. Perfecto helpless. I mean, he had to do the impossible there. And whoa, whoa. It's like looking at his teammate's screen.
Yeah, that's a bit of a stressful moment right there. Well, still with a 2-round lead here.
Ooh, Fnatic, they're going for an interesting approach. They want to contest for ramp early. At least that's what the 3-man posturing presents as, but with no sounds, no steps, no nades. Ramp is silent. They'll play a reactionary defense.
Yeah, now they limp it out. So I guess they were waiting for the tease and this vice versa.
Right, you go first. No, you go first. After you. No, after you.
Oh, the door's held open now.
Oh, good placement of that nade, Roy. He's taken full advantage of that silencer as well. He'll happily throw a couple of bullets down. And you get that sound cue, at least maybe if your opponents are within earshot, but teammates rather.
Now they can stall out a little bit longer here, right? So limping the nades out, not off the rip. But all of this util placed to scare Cloud9. Are they playing behind the one-way? Is it just a delay tactic? You don't want to risk it. As again, another sandbag smoke will land, but Cloud9 know they need to get a move on.
Yeah, you get into the pointy end of this 21st round. And it's Hobbit caught out. Afro down after the one. Right, caught by Shiro. Still dispatching of Electronic beforehand.
Push again, he's pushing again.
Yeah, this is really ballsy from Dexter. He already won them one in the previous. Perfecto's to fill that gap, that's his responsibility. Head spotted, Dexter noted. 20 seconds they need to plant. If one more from Dexter, this gets very hard for Cloud9. Buster. Oh! Walks in, Dexter pre-fire, obscured by the smoke, no problem. He's ready for it. He's so aware. Dexter switched on today as he comes online for the boys and secures another. 16 frags. I think the craziest Dexter game we cast was a Vertigo game as well. Do you remember? He was having that insane performance on this very map. He seems at home here. And so do Fnatic. They're keeping up with C9.
Yeah, looking comfy here. And the history of Dexter as a player, maybe people aren't too familiar with these days in Australia, but he was the in-game leader of Renegades and he was the star player. Right? That's why there were so many eyes on him. Hey, this guy can frag and lead. Yeah, let's get him over. And then Europe, well, it's definitely a different ballpark.
Are you saying the European players are better than the Australian?
Yes, indeed, Alex. Yes, indeed. So Dexter, during the Mouse campaign, didn't have too much shine around his name. But here on Fnatic, early stages looking pretty good.
Yeah, this is a really impressive kind of first taste, first look.
Both teams have used 3 timeouts here, I do believe. So this was Cloud9's third.
Okay, Groove on the microphone.
Yeah, probably just to balance the finances here going forward into the next round of play. Loss bonus is 2,400. So they should be able to get a bite without too many problems here. But Fnatic, with an opportunity to tie things up, legs 11.
Already like 700 utility damage from Cloud9 and about 200 from Fnatic total. It's a stark contrast as Shiro versus Afro might be going down. You heard the orb. Oh, I see. I see why that might change things.
But this is the thing, with that AWP in play, Cloud9's job is just to get information, relay it to Shiro, try and put him in positions for picks, but Crims and Mezzi are very forward here.
Yeah, Crims comfortable, expecting a whole lot more where that came from as Electronic was trying to bait the shot for Shiro, who profits. Or B now, and they can just continue to swing this pendulum. Of course, gaps might be taken, and Hobbit, he confirms ramps are not occupied.
Yeah, okay, this is the seesaw here. So as Hobbit gets space, that AWP can come back silently or not. It doesn't really matter here. They've been able to scavenge the M4 off the body of Crims, and alongside of that, they have 2 smokes. So now in this passive stance of Fnatic that we can see, they can walk up the ramp because of Hobbit's space, and they can do left-right smokes on site and try and get this bomb down. But the counter to that, Fnatic, they've got a couple of HEs and a couple of mollies.
Surely Shiro gives the smoke to someone else. Yes, okay, so now he can take that headshot fight just as the smoke's about to plume.
But here's the deal. Roy and Afro are the ones with the HEs and mollies. They should be able to delay this.
They should. They certainly should. They could stagnate the plant. Or a molly to delay even better. 28 as that molly denies the plant. They'll have about 15 to try and get it down.
If they get it down, Shiro's in a power position.
And they will start to plant. Nades better be good. Oh, denied. Awkward now as Dexter's pieced together the double. Shiro sandbag, scary. If Hobbit could just plant. And he will. Until Roy pushes through, knows the value in denying that plant. Shiro has killed everyone. He might die after time. They have got the opportunity. Oh, and he will. Roy takes him down and leaves him with 3,100. All of that hard work and he's left holding the bag.
Yeah, well, fortunately for him, his in-game leader is Electronic, and he knows, or not, he needs to drop that AWP, and he's got enough cash to do exactly that. So Shiro will get one back regardless, and he can drop a Galil, so it isn't the end of the world here. But this is the thing, that util to stall out the plant, that was the key. You could see that coming through the entire time. They had the checkmate in that round. And we're all tied up here as we do get back into the guns. On the harder side here, the T-half for Cloud9 going to be more difficult for somebody like Electronic to call into a map that he's never played a whole lot of officials on before.
Rejigging the setup. Smoke limits the options for Shiro's AWP to hunt. Chip damage unconfirmed. As now 2 members of Cloud9 find themselves within that one-shot headshot from the M4.
Bus is on the top of this one.
Yeah, that head-to-head with Mezzi might find another tally. Ooh, okay. 3 smoke stairs from Mezzi. They're coming for Electronic. They want answers, and Dexter quick to the draw, quick to the punch. And now Mezzi knows, or at least he's got a bit of a premonition that this B site is going to be their final place.
He's got help here. He's also got a smoke to extinguish his feet if they do molly him.
Counter util, hoping they overlook the squad position, but that molly's destined for Mezzi. Mezzi burning, smoke as you discussed, trying to find a safe haven. Well managed, supported by Crims, but nothing from Mezzi at all. Buster takes him down. Looking to plant, but they don't have to rush this. 2 versus 4 for Shiro and Perfecto.
Ooh.
A missed shot from Shiro, and it will go punish. Dexter grabs himself a triple and continues to be racking up the frags. That puts him up to 21. He is a couple of frags behind Shiro and Hobbit in the server.
Yeah, he's feeling it here, and you can really see just 3 individuals creeping down that A ramp looking for a fight. Trade potential always there, doing it as a unit. Dexter finds the opener, and even more impact over towards the B side as it's under pressure. So great shooting, and getting fired up now is Mezzi. They've taken the lead here, Fnatic. Probably something they felt they should have had regardless. If it wasn't for that Hobbit hero AK round with all 5 kills, maybe Fnatic will be teaming towards that 16. Electronic with some pace will find an opener.
That's a big frag from Electronic. Reaction necessary. Dexter, good for 1. Molly Gap, love that, does deter. They feel like they've seen enough. They didn't manage to leave with much more than a frag and some damage onto Electronic. I can't believe Roy probably feels a little hard done by.
But look at this full rotation here. There's actually an empty bomb site right now.
Whoa.
Fnatic are clearing out the A ramp, but
it's not the end of the world, is it?
No, they have util for the retake, sure, but the bigger issue is how far does Buster push? If he goes deep, right? If they actually want to take fights towards connector, you want to fight towards CT spawn, then they might be able to use these Tech-9s a bit more efficiently. But if they sit back, they are just going to be isolated here. Heavy on the flank. If they win these fights, they can pick up some rifles, but it's Electronic Glock. I don't have too much faith for this one.
No, nor he. But, I mean, this time, it is going to have to be pretty perfect on the way in. One good Deagle headshot, and it gets awkward. B stares down. Afro onto Buster. That's Perfecto. Needs another. Look at the time. He gets it! Cloud9! One more from Perfecto. They have to be. Defusing doesn't have the kit. They're going to do it! A 12th round stolen away, and a quad kill from Perfecto. That's cheeky.
That is insane. That just
Look at Groove. I just saw a smile.
You shouldn't be winning. Yeah, you're right, actually.
I just saw Groove smile. I don't think I've seen it before.
Get on YouTube, rewind, take a screenshot, get it on the internet. That is going to break X right now.
Oh, my goodness.
Think about 2 of the rounds that they've won in this hub. They've only won 4 rounds. One was Hobbit with the hero AK, and the other was the Electronic Tech-9 entry kill into an empty B bomb site because of a heavy rotation from Fnatic to make sure they could clear out the ramp into Perfecto Orbit.
Oh, the B anchor probably kicking himself at not considering it. But also, I mean, they had the same conclusion as us.
They called, well, look, Fnatic called the full rotation here, right? This is the thing. If you're going to play that type of game, you can give up the map space. Sure. We even said that there was util for the retake. We said there's a Glock on Electronic watching behind. The fact is, those Tech-9s did constrict the rotation in through CT spawn, construction, the drop down, hit the necessary shots, and oh dear, send Fnatic down to an eco. Impact again for Cloud9 in key rounds. Think about where the impacts come for them, right? The Hobbit hero AK resulted in a force buy, which resulted in an eco. Now you have a Tech-9 win round that results in another eco, right? The ramifications of the type of rounds and where you win them can mean an awful lot.
Oh, lovely placement of the bullets and the crosshair.
Look, let's be honest, it's not the most pretty Cloud9 T side in the world, but you just have to get the job done here, especially when you're missing one of your stars, Axel. And we keep saying this, and people are like, yeah, shut up about Axel. He's one of the best players in the world last year. Yeah. Considered one of the best riflers in the world. It's, you know, this is not just any player you've lost here.
No, this is like Cloud9 without one of their fingers of the fist.
It was just so exciting, you know. Oh, Crims has misbought, or someone's misbought. Someone's misbought heavily. Can we get a cam on that here? That is actually, Crims isn't going to have any armor. Yeah, okay. A big old misbuy here. Crims is literally just rocking an M4 with a flash, a smoke, and a molly that I think was donated to him. He has no armor whatsoever for this. There's not a single defuse kit. Oh, that's not nice.
Oh! Afro, are you crazy? He's insane! He gets them! He connects them! Afro racks up the double, brings the fight to Cloud9. He says, don't worry, boys, I got this. I'll solve the problem. I'll win the round before your lack of armor ever becomes a conversation. From the top rope.
Okay, well,
the flying Frenchman.
That's one way to kick off the round, huh? Just as I'm worried about Crim's buy, it's a 4v1. Big slap in the face there, and yeah, give Afro the final. Deserves it. Spotted now is Buster. Position given up. Shouldn't be too long for this world here. Still going to give it a crack. From the highest to highs of the previous, now Cloud9.
Nearly took down Afro there. Buster in the clutch. Timing on this, though, from B stairs, and Crim's down. Nice find from Buster. Lack of armor hurts.
Flanks the problem, and there it is. Roy, perfectly timed. Bullet in the side of the head. Nothing more for Buster to say, and we tie it up once again. Wow, okay, Afro.
Yeah, right.
Now, there's the GXX move, it's the same kind of thing. He just kind of runs and jumps down, but this was with the run boost into it, right? So an extra bit of flair there as Hobbit has an awful lot to say. You can see him. And this is like the leg to start, and he still gets away. Just the movement from Afro. Springs on his feet as he leaps into action, and that one's going to feel real good.
Nice reaction, like, you know, in terms of that, the way in which Cloud9 have won 2 of those rounds. I think that's kind of a Fnatic equivalent back.
You see as well over there from Fnatic, they're a little bit more aggressive holding this B lobby. They just threw out that deep Molotov to make sure the Buster can't take that space early. Remember how many times Mezzy were getting B lobby initially. So different approaches on how they want to defend this side of the map here, but an important round. A very important round. Loss bonus for Cloud9 into the next 2,400, which means most of their players should be in a decent position.
Deliberate steps made by Hobbit.
Might be able to get a partial on the next hit, Cloud9, but we're at the business end of this game.
It's working. Mezzy and Crims were forward on B, and now both are kind of cheating back to Gen and mid. So just from Hobbit making a couple of steps on the ramp and everyone else cutting noise, it does just leave essentially a 4 versus 1 on B. Free smoke to buy time. It wasn't, it was a flash.
Yeah, you're hoping for a reaction, you know, hoping someone spams or makes a sound cue or gives something away here. A molly to stall things out as well, and again, they're searching over towards A. Fnatic are doing it as a team at least.
We've seen this before, though.
But this
is how they lost the Tech9s.
But this progression right here, I still don't hate it, right? They're going to have a lot of info, and if they lose the site, we saw Cloud9, they gave up the site completely in that first half and then were able to retake. So they're happy to concede the plant here. Maybe Mezzy's not. First onto Electronic.
Yeah, and big start, and there's more to be had as well. Looking for the trade desperately. Haven't committed with the bomb. The Hobbit takes down Dexter. Mezzy's gone too. They have the access. They should be getting that plant in. Shiro shuffling towards that site. Afro trying to provide some sort of fire. Roy late through mid.
Save.
Hobbit's got it, and that is going to be a Cloud9 round.
There's $1,400 loss bonus into the next tier for Fnatic. They don't have an option to go for it. That's why I thought they'd play retake. I didn't think they'd want to fight against it, right? Let them into the side, the bomb goes down, wait for it to fade. If you can get a couple kills, you can go for it. If not, everybody can save. Now it's going to be much more difficult. With that loss bonus, Afro's going to be able to drop something, but that's not if Hobbit takes away another kill. The fight towards T-Stairs, and Roy lucky to stay alive here. They need to hold on to this AWP. We saw what Afro did in the last round, right? That was huge impact. He only got 12 kills, but that previous, it was massive. So give him another opportunity to do that as Roy, Crims, and Afro looking to retain their goods. And they'll get away with it here. So 3 players staying alive for either team. Cloud9, just 2 more rounds necessary now, but if we continue to go back and forth, might have an overtime on our hands here. First map of the day.
Ты сможешь выкатить сам себе, а я тебе дам на гэп смог. Ноги, да. По ногам дам, да. Просто флешку дай или худи.
All right, gap smoke's out. It's in the air, and away they go. Deagle for Dexter. Being able to get 1 extra rifle out here. But this is essentially the game for Fnatic and Afro. We speak about the impact. You save the AWP, you find the opener. That's exactly what the team needs.
You can see this hesitance. They don't want to be caught short on their B defense again. Mezzy, this time, confirms and finds Electronic. Whoa, the re-peek is brazen. It's brave. And he's naded down by Perfecto. A response in kind from Crims does tag up Buster low. Molly will slow. Smoke to play around as well. Dexter trying to provide as much support as he can. Just the Desert Eagle. Might have the weapon if he can scavenge. 3v3. Finds the rifle. Gap in the smoke. Dexter. Perfecto. No flash for this. He's walking in, and Perfecto set for success now. As are Cloud9, a must-win round for both of these squads. Roy, stubborn. Refuses to submit, refuses to surrender. 2-on-2, low HP. Oh, and Afro profits with the nade. He started this, and he's going to have to finish it as well. Shiro, 6 HP, adjusts, and closes out for Cloud9.
That's the Shiro we know and love right there. The pressure on, the AWP comes out, the backbreaker, 15 confirmed for Cloud9 now, and they have found a ray of sunshine here. The clouds are parting, the smiles are on the faces, and just one more.
That's the game. That game in comes down to a 1-on-1, a 1v2 for Shiro. Bang. Onto Roy. Knows the nade came from that side. He doesn't need much to take his shot. Look at this from Electronic as well. Elation. He knows what this kill means.
Damn. So they're having a good time, and right now, Fnatic, the very opposite of this. They're going to burn the last and final timeout. You can understand exactly. And it started what felt pretty well for them. Good patch of rounds on their T-Hall, 5 consecutive, and then they were only able to post 2 in the later stages of that first half. It started well again on the CT campaign, the pistol win, but that Hobbit round is going to come back to haunt them here, as well as the Tech9 loss. So these key rounds falling against Fnatic left them flustered here with a fragmented buy. Pistols, SMGs, a scout for good measure. Cloud9's map to win.
Afro trying to use that scout as an AWP, that same kind of angle and information. Shiro knows his angles are here very well. Obscured by the smoke. Afro will have a lot of information here. This is a powerful position to save on the absence of utility. Well, Afro's dead now. Feeling the futility of defense against Cloud9. That's another body drop. Roy gave it a pot shot, and yep, 3 left from Cloud9 to take Fnatic's pick away. Crim's next victim sprayed on down. Oh. Nice combination with Dexter, but Buster beating Mezzi. We've said that before. And Shiro pegging it, not interested. Down the ramp, sprinting away, want to make sure they can finish it here. Their best opportunity to do so, and with Buster taking all that space, he has single-handedly guaranteed this round. Unless Crims does something ridiculous. Yeah, I mean, you don't see that every day. Strafing in.
Trying something outside of the map, not outside of the box. As, it is just Dexter now. Has had a good map, but it hasn't been enough. 25 kills in total for the newly appointed Fnatic in-game leader. Has 1 available. He can sneak up behind here. 2 spotted, just can't connect the dots. Perfecto takes him down, and that's going to be the first map victory for New Look Cloud9. 16-13, no Axile, no problems. And what a change of the demeanor.